They're the liberal rednecks. They like cornbread and butt sex. They care way too much but don't give a fuck. They're the liberal rednecks that makes some people upset, but they got three big old dicks that you can suck.
Whenever you were in like middle school, did anybody ever call you Trae?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Right on.
Do they call you gay, Trae?
They did, yes, of course they did.
I mean, I knew that. Like, I figured that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Gay Trae. Trae is gay. Trae is gay, not in the happy way. They need to clarify. Need to clarify that didn't mean the old timey definition.
I just imagine miserable
Yeah.
13-year-old Trae going, "No, you didn't. You didn't have to clarify."
I was about to say, all the other girls were like, yeah, we totally knew it didn't mean happy. Look at him.
It's so funny you said other girls because
my bad.
No, I didn't say anything about it being girls, but it was though. Like, somehow just knew.
Yeah.
The guys, I never got like bullied by guys, honestly, really, for the most part. Not that I can remember. It was always
You were getting bullied by girls?
Well,
that's pretty gay, bro.
I know. No, this what we're talking about right now, the calling me gay and the chanting of the gay, that was all girls that I went to school with.
That's hilarious. Why do you think that was?
Because I was just a little queer and I didn't
Right, but like normally that would like
say
what? Did I say what?
Did you say chanting?
No, the song Trae is gay, not in a happy way, not whatever. It was like a little song, a little jingle that they came up with. But no, it was all girls.
Chanting makes me think more than one girl did it at once.
They did.
Like the cheerleaders got together and were like, okay, here we go. Okay, I guess what I'm asking is like normally, I've been called gay, but by a lot of people, but like it was always like the dudes started it and then the girls would be like, yeah, my man thinks you're gay. But you're saying like, no, me and the dudes was cool. It was just the chicks that.
Dudes in my grade, for the most part, I was always cool with the dudes in my grade. I don't know if because they cheated on my math homework or whatever, but we were always cool. The girls, because what I'm talking about now, this is like middle school stuff. So my experiences were limited just to my grade is my point.
Yeah.
When I got to high school later and the grades intermingle, there were plenty of dudes, redneck old boys in other grades who very much considered and referred to me as a or
and you were fat too, right?
Yes, a fat. And like, look, I'm recounting my experience here, so everybody's upset with that language.
Right.
Sorry, I don't know what to tell you, but it's the truth. It wasn't like I don't want to make it sound like I had it so rough in school.
No.
Because I didn't, but it was also a thing. I had a gay uncle. Everybody knew he was gay. That very much played.
But he wasn't fat though.
No, it wasn't.
No, it was just you that was fat and gay. He was just regular old gay.
Yes, exactly, yeah. But no, my homies in my grade and everything that I grew up with, they were always super cool, and I never got none of that from them. But like older kids when I got to high school, or again, the little bitches in my grade. I'm really on one today. Y'all dug some shit up. I don't know why. I did not come into this expecting us to have a conversation.
I've always, I knew you were woke about gay stuff because your uncle. I've always wondered why you were woke by women's stuff and like never fall into the thing comics fall into about girls not ever being funny. But it's because you met some hilarious girls in the third grade.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Well, and I mean, look at his sister, dog.
Yeah, that's
not in the happy way. That's such a good tag.
If you've ever hung out with Trae's sister Paige once in your life, the words "women aren't funny" could not possibly leave your mouth in a sincere way.
Did Paige start that chant? Did she write that?
No, Paige would have whipped their asses if she
for sure
heard it.
Yeah, she's like overly like you can do no wrong. She treats you like how my mama used to treat me.
Yeah, no. If Paige will be Paige, if she hears this, will probably text me asking like who specifically it was.
Right. So she can go whoop their ass.
And start some shit or whatever. Because I mean, she knows all the girls in my grade.
I want to know who specifically it was.
I do too. I want to go hit with them.
You want to go hit with them? Well, bills now, so I'm sure you could.
That does hit.
Yeah, no, not all of them. I don't know what the fuck they do. I haven't talked to any of them in a long time.
They write Hallmark cards.
Yeah.
Um,
Trae is gay, and we don't mean in the happy way. Was that what it was? That's a fucking T-shirt. We should sell that for the WellRED podcast. People wear that shit.
chart topper.
Yeah.
No, I don't. And then also, I got in high school. I wasn't fat in high school, not the latter half of high school. I was a fat kid. I lost weight in high school, and then I wasn't fat all through latter part of high school or college, and that was fine. What?
I'm just thinking of like you just being a fat kid, and you were just called a fat one too many times, and finally I'm seeing like a Rocky montage of you just punching baloney in a.
Literally all that happened was I stopped drinking soda.
Right.
And that did it. Stopped drinking soda and hit
But to those little girls, how much soda were you drinking?
A lot. I have a flashbulb memory of I had decided I was going to lose weight. I was a freshman in high school, and I was over this shit. And I was like, I'm going to lose weight. And I had started like, because I poor white trash dumb fuck, I didn't know how to properly go about it. So I just started like basically not eating very much or as much, like because I didn't know how else you lose weight. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I can't not eat ultra processed garbage food. I'm in Salina, Tennessee. That's all there is here. So like, I just started eating less.
Right.
And I wasn't losing any weight at all. And I remember, again, I'm a fucking freshman in high school, and I apparently didn't know that drinks.
And as you've told us a million times, the prodigy.
Yeah, the smart one. And I didn't know that drinks counted at all.
I know, I'm with you, dude.
And I can remember the day. Like for weeks, I've been eating less. I wasn't losing any weight. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I came home from school one day, opened the refrigerator like I always did, grabbed my Sunny D like I always did, housed about half of the bottle like I always did.
Yeah.
And I set it back and I went to close the refrigerator door, and I swear something made me just stop. I just stopped and I was like, wait a minute. And I opened it back up and I pulled it back out, and I turned and looked at the nutrition information on the side or whatever. And I was like, Jesus.
It just says, ain't none.
Yeah, right. And it just hit me all at once. I was like, dude, I can drink a whole bottle of this in a day. Easy. That's like 1,200 calories, you know? And then I realized, I was like, well, that's what the problem is. And I just cut all that out. I started drinking water and only water. And I pretty much, unless I'm boozing, only drink water to this day, and managed to find a way to get fat again. But anyway, once I cut that out and started drinking only water, I started losing weight after that. That drink thing, that happened to me too. But like I like just already wasn't drinking them for some reason anyways. Like, I don't know why. Like I just was off. So like, I don't know. They just didn't taste as good to me, or
you had parents who loved you.
No, I mean, son, have you seen my goddamn dad? That fucking half a tub Neapolitan ice cream hiding ass motherfucker. Like, don't even act like it wasn't some bullshit. But like, I don't know. You know what it was? Is that all I drank was beer. Like, pretty much everything was. And one of my buddies, like, he'd lost a bunch of weight. And I was like, God damn, man, how'd you do it? Like, you've been running a lot? And he's like, dude, I'd literally just stopped drinking Cokes. And I was like, what? And like, I knew that they had sugar and stuff in them, but like, yeah, in my mind, like, in order to lose weight, surely you couldn't just cut out soda. Like, that wouldn't. But yeah, man, I mean, hell, not only does it count, like, it's so much easier to get 1,200 calories in juice than it is in anything else. Like, if you ate 1,200 calories in like actual food, you'd start to get full. You'd start to get full before. But like with the fucking juice, bro, I could drink a whole bottle of Welch's grape juice. Like, if I was hungover or something like that, no problem by myself. Fucking, yeah, like you said, house it easy. Right, and that would be like 1,000 calories or something. And then I'm still gonna be hungry. Right. Yeah, exactly.
I'm hungry right now.
Me too. Well, I'm not actually supposed to. I'm not hungry. I'm bored.
While we're digging into
You're such a white lady.
I know. Well, I'm just saying, like, there's no way I'm hungry, bro. I've already had 2,000 calories today. I told you I woke up and had biscuits and gravy, and then I made meatloaf for lunch.
What's funny about that is that conversation about juice and having all the calories, but you can't get full.
Yeah.
I can't even make an argument. No, Corey, I get it. You've had calories, but But the substance, like, no, you ate straight up meat and gravy.
Meat and gravy, and then meatloaf for lunch, and then I mean, bro, it ain't like I ain't snacked. I had my sour Skittles because you got to get that goddamn that meatloaf leaves that that meat taste in your mouth. Gotta get that out.
Quick story. The whole argument of like calories versus feeling full. You know what I mean? Like some things have calories in them, but it's a small thing. So your stomach's going to want more even if the calories are there. I got in an argument with a guy in law school that Micah lived with who was older than us about that. We were drunk and we were talking about IPAs versus Guinness. Guinness being something that is thick but has low calories in it. And I just ran my mouth long enough to him to where I got him to challenge me to where he was going to chug a Guinness and I was going to chug an IPA. And it was just to get him to chug it. It might have been vice versa. I don't even remember. And I watched this man who played college football. He was huge. I watched him chug a pitcher, like just bottoms up of an IPA. It may have been Guinness. I don't remember who was who. Either way, it wasn't it.
Ooh.
And he slammed it down in victory because I literally hadn't taken a drink. And then he processed what happened. And I've never made a man that big, that mad, and not have to get Micah to fight for me. So
yeah, that hurt my belly thinking about it. I went through a period where like I exclusively chugged beer, like I would like.
Do you mean as opposed to chugging anything else, or you mean as opposed to drinking it any other way?
As opposed to drinking it any other way, like I would only like we'd go to this one specific bar. I know.
What was to get drunk?
It just hit for me, yeah. We'd go to this one specific bar, CBC, the Chattanooga Billiards Club, downtown Chattanooga, and they had $5 mini pitchers. So I mean, good.
Joe Beer Chug, that's CBC. Joe Beer Chug.
There you go. But like they had $5 pitchers, which was like already a good deal, anyways. And when they gave it to you, like my whole thing was, if I let it sit here too long, it'll get warm. There ain't nothing worse than warm beer. So I just fucking get the mini pitcher and just chug it and then go. I'd get like 2 at a time or whatever. And that's all I do is like
I'm afraid of this getting warm, so let me buy 2 and drink them both.
Dude, listen how fucking stupid this is. We used to, I'm about to expose myself, but whatever. We used to go there. At first it was Tuesdays, and we called it Tombstone Tuesdays. And then we couldn't go on Tuesdays anymore because our buddy Sass, his shift changed, and so we had to start going on Wednesdays. But hey, that's fine. Western Wednesdays. Didn't even have to change the theme. You know what I'm saying? We'd go like dressed all fucking rowdy and shit, go chug beers, choke motherfuckers out at the pool table because Sass was there, and he's like 7 foot tall. So like I'd just go pick fights with motherfuckers I had no business picking fights with, and then Sass would whoop their goddamn ass. But anyways, my point is, literally never in that like year period, I didn't drink a single beer. I exclusively chugged pitchers and took shots of whiskey. It was a good year. Got a lot of pussy.
How does that expose you? That's all very par for the course right there. I mean,
I don't.
Good.
I thought the Tombstone Tuesday and the Western Wednesdays was a bit much. I thought the theme was kind of.
But you're a bit much. What he means is not how would that expose a person. He specifically wants to know how that would expose you.
Right. Yeah, you're right. No, okay. All right. I kind of forget who I am sometimes.
The only thing I was surprised to hear you, and I've done the same thing. So when I say own up to, I mean I've done this, but hesitate to own up to it, is enjoying picking fights knowing you have a giant friend with you. It's so fun though.
Oh, it's awesome. It's great. You got Brian, dude.
But dude, I've had Brian, Micah. Like this tour is the first time in my life, and even in a bar, Trae looks pretty big.
And please let me go back on that just a little bit. That was just the only way I should phrase it at the time. I still did. Like I'm not trying to defend myself too much, but like I wouldn't just go up and start fucking with somebody. It was if somebody started kind of fucking around. Yeah. Whereas normally I would have just been like, "It's okay, man, you go ahead." Then I'd be like, "What? Say something, motherfucker." I didn't like actually go up and start fucking with people. It's just like I didn't give a shit when they started talking shit, you know?
I used to call that.
I had Big Giant.
Big Giant.
Me and Big Giant used to go to the club all the time. And
Big Giant's the one that whooped the truck ass, right?
He is, yes. Yeah, he whooped the truck's ass. And I went anyway, we used to go to the club all the time, and it was very much that dynamic.
Robbie's that for me, too.
I used to call that calling their bluff on Micah's behalf.
Yeah. writing a check that Micah's gonna have to cash.
Well, they wrote it.
Right,
I just took him to the bank. I was like, "Oh, you trying to write a check? Let me take you to the bank."
Yeah, exactly.
I wish Micah was here so he could tell how he got his jaw and tooth broke by a Boston College football player. But that particular time, that dude was trying to pick on one of our friends, and so I threw a basketball on him. And then
I'll tell you how we could
over from there.
I'll tell you how we could make Micah appear is go to any city in the world and Micah would be there. I don't even know, Micah, if you're listening, I don't know where the fuck you live. Like, literally, we just pop up in the city and boom, here's old Mr. fucking Lego man, square jaw motherfucker himself.
Well, the story with that is that Micah has to travel for work a lot, and then anytime his brother who's overseas comes in, even if it's to a base somewhere, he goes there to see him. They're very close. So Micah does get around a lot, and it just so happens that for 1 year on tour, Micah showed up at like 6 different cities.
Yeah, it was wild.
Who else has done that exact thing? And I hate to bring this up because I don't want to bring the mood down, make everybody sad. But you know who used to do that is producer Bryce. Rest in
He
peace.
did.
Oh,
Rest in
man.
peace, man. Yeah.
Would warn us though. There was at least 3 times Micah just would text me and be like, "Can I come to the green room?"
We're talking about past trashiness, and I was thrust back into that world this past week, and I wanted to talk about it on here a little bit. Only in my mind, thinking back on it. Remember on an earlier episode of the podcast, been a long time now, but people that are long-time listeners, I'm sure they'll probably remember when Drew told that story of ripping out his own teeth on pills. Remember that?
Yeah.
Braces.
How can we forget?
Yeah.
My
and,
braces.
we got to talking about teeth and how big, from, we're shitty white trash and our teeth don't hit, none of our teeth hit. I got an extra tooth that don't hit neither and all this stuff. And
Being done with these, all that.
yeah, all that. We got into all that. And I don't know if y'all remember, but I told the story on there. I was like, we were all talking about we hadn't been to the dentist, and I hadn't at the time. Last time I was at the dentist, I was 18 years old. And at the time when we were having this podcast episode, this is probably 2 years ago. So it'd been like 15 years, 12, whatever, 14, 15 years since I've been to the dentist. And on the podcast, I justified it, and I was self-aware about it. I was like, I know how ridiculous this is, but it also was legitimate. The legitimate justification I used in my head for never going to the dentist. I told y'all that I was like, the last time I went, the dental hygienist at the dentist office in Jackson County, Tennessee. So this 55-year-old Aunt Faye woman who went to a trade school for 13 months in the 70s she told me when I was in there that she was like, and she didn't even say why she said this. She just looked at my teeth and then she told me, she goes, whatever it is that you do to take care of your teeth, if you keep doing that, you will never have a significant problem. You'll never have a significant dental problem the rest of your life. And I was like shit, all right, because all I do is brush once, usually, not always. Never flush, no Listerine, floss. Never floss, no Listerine, nothing. And I just took that as the gospel, and I was like, shit, I don't need a dentist. Fuck it, my teeth are good.
Yeah.
Fast forward 16 years later, got a whole family, making the kids go to the dentist. Katie's for a couple years now has been like, you need to go to the dentist, right? And I was like, no, my teeth are fine. Started a couple weeks ago, my gums started to really hurt, really only on the right side.
Yeah.
But they really hurt, like to the touch.
That's where you rest your sours, ain't it?
No, I do that on the bottom left, and it's fine there. It's a good theory.
I can't believe you forgot that.
I know.
And so I finally.
It's been a while since I've baby birded him his sours.
But I was like, I'm fine. I'm gonna have to go back to the dentist because like this hurts. I've got an actual problem now. This don't hit. So I made a dentist appointment and I went on Friday, and no cavities, no decay,
Really?
no nothing.
What?
Solid. Because my teeth don't hit but do hit.
Right.
He was like the dentist was like, wow, you are incredibly fortunate. Like you really haven't been to the dentist in 16
Because they look
years.
terrible.
They do look, and they do look terrible. The dental hygienist, I might have to go back 4 times for one teeth cleaning. She got out her big, like a buffer that she was like, this is like a dental jackhammer that she has to take to the tartar to get off my teeth. They're in terrible shape as far as how they look, but like structurally and health wise or whatever, they're like as good as teeth can be. But
I imagine them getting the people that curl in the Olympics up on your fucking mouth.
Yeah.
You have
Katie was so not like because Katie's had like 3 root canals in the past year, or whatever, and she brushes and flosses twice a day.
Yeah, and her teeth look amazing.
I came back from the dentist that day, and she was like, "So," and I was like, "Well, no issues." And she was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Your teeth are like that like 65-year-old drunk roofer from everybody's hometown. It's like he looks like shit, but goddamn, there he is.
Yeah, and well, Drew actually got
yours is
right.
way more.
Like on that previous episode, I told that story, and I was like, and that's why I don't worry about my teeth. And I know that's hilarious and stupid, but it's true.
And you proved it right.
Drew said he was like, I don't remember where you'd heard it from. He was like, no, there's a thing. There's a certain type of bacteria, and they think that really, no matter what you do with your teeth and whatnot, really it comes down to this bacteria causes cavity and tooth decay, and different people have different amounts of it. So there are people that can brush and floss twice a day and rinse and all this shit and still have to have a root canal every year. And obviously that very don't hit. And then on the other end of the spectrum, there's fucking trash people like me who can just brush and that's it. And they don't have a lot of that bacteria in their mouth. And so their teeth are fine. And that's what the dentist told me on Friday. I just don't, that bacteria that causes cavities and stuff in huge amounts, I just don't have hardly any of that. And I'm extremely lucky in that way. So
I'm sure that.
But when I heard about it, I thought you could get it from your significant other because I'm pretty sure I heard about it from Ben, who never had a cavity in his life till he got married to a dentist.
Huh.
Well, I don't know because Katie definitely has.
Y'all don't be kissing. That's what it is. You make her brush her teeth. You like brush your teeth before I kiss you, Katie.
Yeah, I mean, we don't do that. Yeah, we don't be doing that either. So
kissing.
Yeah, don't hit.
Oh, no,
straight to it, son. Fuck the previews. I came
kissing.
here to see Star Wars, baby.
Is that what's playing?
That's what's playing.
By the way, the gum
It's
thing.
episode 1.
yeah. Trust me, it's
too
episode
long
1.
And it don't hit.
It don't
and
hit.
The little guy's annoying as hell.
Yeah, God, it don't hit.
The gum thing, though.
Anyways, this episode is sponsored by
the gum.
Oh, it really is. I totally forgot. I'll plug that in.
The gum thing, I was convinced was like some kind of serious problem because it came up out of nowhere, and it's like, how could it not be? My gums are just rot. My mouth is rot. My gums is rot. My whole head gone rot. That's what it is. But it turns out it's just literally the like tartar buildup and just how much my teeth didn't hit from a cleanliness perspective.
Right,
like,
it was protecting.
That can irritate your gums. Make them hurt like a motherfucker. So they did that tooth cleaning, and I've been like flossing and shit this week, and my gums are totally fine now.
I heard
Dude,
too.
Your mouth is like that stinky kid that never gets sick.
lice because the lice just slide right at its motherfucking hair because it's so greasy. See, y'all think y'all had it bad being poor, but look at this. Just
your teeth. What's up with your teeth?
No, well, here's the thing. I'm sure I told this on the podcast last time, but it's true. Not too long ago. I had an emergency. That's what it was. I had an emergency situation like 2 years ago or something like that, where I had an abscess tooth.
That was longer than 2 years ago because
that was pre-hit. You're right.
Yeah.
Because that's why you moved to New York.
Oh yeah, you're right.
You into doing that instead of yourself.
Yeah, you're right. But either way, that right there is the sole time. I haven't been to the dentist since then. That was it.
I ain't been to the dentist since I cut my braces out.
And before then, I hadn't been to the dentist in forever. And like they asked me when I was like, they're like, how long it's been since you've been to the dentist? And I was like, I don't know. And I went home and I was asking Mom. I was like, she's like, when's the last time you went to the dentist? I said, well, I hadn't gone because Dr. Print, my dentist died. Like my dentist had died. And I was like, yeah, Dr. Prince died. So, I mean, I just, of course I hadn't been to the dentist. It's too hard on me,
Yeah.
I'm not,
I don't know if I can go back. I'm not ready.
And what about Mom was like, Mom got on the internet and looked up his obituary. That motherfucker died in 2003. So like, I ain't been able to get over it. So
yeah, man, you've been meditating, reading a lot of books about it. Trying to get through this.
But I didn't I didn't have no cavities though. Like it was just like I had an abscess, which is like just a freak thing. But I didn't have no cavities. But I'm in the same position as you that my teeth do not hit. Like they look horrible, but there's no cavities. They just suck.
Well, see,
I went-
and actually, you know how me and you have talked so much, Corey, about like I've been done with these.
I'm getting
motherfuckers.
veneers the second we start crushing hard, son.
Yeah,
I'm
so
filing
like-
these motherfuckers to the nub, boy.
Okay, but see, this has made me. I don't know about that because it's like you're right. These look terrible, but they almost have this like superpower. to
Right.
it.
Yeah, they repel everyone with a
It's-
camera.
No,
It's
but
the extra one.
No, I do. Well, we
The
could just. I
extra
mean, we
one
could.
is why.
maybe like do something to try to make these heads
We could get. No,
the
we could.
extra one.
Man, we could just get them bleached.
right. Yeah, like that.
Trae, they will try to get rid of your extra one if you go to any kind of cosmetic doctor. And I'm telling you, that is your Achilles.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, if I get
That's
rid
your
of
secret power. That's your Samson's hair, man.
Well,
That
right,
motherfucker's
I
just
gotta-
been sitting there rubbing caramel on it for 15 years and ain't got cavity one.
I got a brief white trash tooth story. I'm gonna have to go to the dentist. Andy's making this appointment because I bit into turkey my dad killed, and I bit into buckshot.
Oh no!
And It didn't break, but it's been hurting ever since. Well, the turkey we were cooking was for Jacob to take to my nephew to take to his Spanish class for cultural something day, where they were gonna make quesadillas, but with Appalachian food.
quesadillas?
So he made turkey quesadillas. But his buddy also bit into buckshot. So Jake took turkey to school for Spanish class, and his buddy broke his tooth on it.
Man, that is fucking hilarious.
yes, indeed.
But hey, by the way, now that we're here, I'm kind of thinking of like turkey dressing and maybe like a little cranberry remoulade quesadilla, like a whole Thanksgiving quesadilla would be pretty tight.
Well, I mean, Thanksgiving sandwich.
use a whole wheat
slap.
Tortilla.
So hard. Yeah.
I feel like
A whole wheat tortilla.
Yeah.
a Thanksgiving burrito. Which what is a burrito but a rounder quesadilla? you
That's
know?
mushier.
Yeah.
See, that's always
Would you
been my
put
thing on
stuffing in the
burritos.
burrito?
Yeah,
I didn't make one. I think I had a Thanksgiving burritos at somewhere on the road once, or whatever, and I recall it. Hitting.
As I've always said, burritos are too much for me. I would rather have.
What?
I know. Hear
I
me
didn't
out.
know It's about you.
Oh, really?
Burritos are too. What are you?
No,
talking
no,
Mixed
no. You know what?
in
This
his
is a,
food.
this is a me.
His-
This is a me and my wife thing. It's no, and I'll eat a burrito and have, and we'll get. I'll go fucking get a
On
goddamn burrito
this
right now.
podcast
Say I won't.
episode.
Say I won't eat a goddamn burrito.
My
No,
point
you won't.
is,
You're afraid of them.
my point is that
How is it too much when you talk about you ate gravy and meatloaf today? You
No,
had
no, no.
both kinds
I
of gravy
mean-
today.
I mean, in one bite. What I'm saying is, I'll have the same amount, but my thing is, all Mexican food, as we know, and as Jim Gaffigan has explained in several bits, is the same ingredients, just cooked differently. I
Yes.
would, if I'm gonna go somewhere that has a burrito, I would rather just have all those same ingredients in 3 quesadillas. It's the same thing. I like the flatter, more crispy thing. I don't like so much of a mush. So to me, it's just too much. It's like a burrito to me, especially how they're making them now. Like they're getting real crazy with them. They're doing like in the burrito world, they're kind of going, and this is when it started for the record. I never felt this way about burritos. In the burrito world, they're starting to go the way of the burger, whereas they want to make it this big monstrosity thing. And I look at that and I'm like, dude, I don't want something that I'm gonna have to eat 3 times and cut in half or whatever. I want so I'll get a quesadilla. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that it don't taste good. It does taste good. It's the consistency. There's too much mush. I like to have about a 2-1 ratio of meat and innards to the tortilla, not like a 5-1, which is what a burrito is. That's what I mean. Obviously, I like the ingredients.
I agree.
I am
completely.
having a hard time hearing you disparage mush.
I like
I've
mush.
seen you eat mush.
You
I
love-
like
I've
mush.
seen you name foods mush that wasn't called mush, and then insist we get mush.
I like mush. I'm just saying, if I'm going the way of wrapping a tortilla around something, I want to experience the crispy part of it throughout. And it's too much mush.
I agree completely about the burritos and how they're getting out of control with it. It is just like they've done with burgers. Like those I hate those burgers. You see a restaurant post a picture of a burger and it's got to be held together with a steak knife.
Don't hit.
Yeah, because it'll topple over if it didn't have
Yeah.
a steak knife shoved through. And it's like burgers are meant to be held in your hands.
It's a handheld thing.
And eat with your mouth like that. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing with this shit? This is stupid. And there are places, burritos, a lot of places are treating burritos that same way. But just like a burrito that ain't that just hits, I fucking love a good burrito. You
No,
know
I
what
hear you.
California burritos are? They're like popular in San Diego.
They have like avocado in them and shit.
No, you wouldn't expect it. Fucking French fries, and that ain't it.
No, that's some Pittsburgh shit.
I know Pittsburgh. They put French fries on all their sandwiches, and then out here they got a certain type of burrito that's got French fry. Don't be adding French fries to stuff.
I agree with that. Put it on the side.
Too much starch and all that shit. Anyway, like just leave it out.
Have you gotten any burritos at little Mexican places out there? And the reason I asked is, and I don't even know if this is true, I've always heard that burritos is really, as we know them, it ain't really Mexican food. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't really like how they do it, and it ain't really a thing. I don't even know if that's true.
You broke up. You said burritos is what?
I've always heard that the way you know them, that ain't really Mexican food.
Oh, I'm sure it's not. But as we've been over before,
Am I still break?
I like the inauthentic.
Me too.
Yeah.
Mexican. But the California burrito
me
is
too.
like a San Diego thing. Like it originated
Right.
there. It's popular there. So
What I'm saying is those places like we get tacos a lot, and Andy wants them way more than me. And insert joke. And I didn't want tacos one night, and I got a burrito, and I was like, this is gonna suck because this place, they're just like looking at me like, oh, here's a gringo ordering a burrito. This ain't even real Mexican food. But man, perfect. Like the mush you're talking about, I don't know, Corey. I know what you're saying if it's like all innards, but if it's all meat and rice, I'm starting to bounce. If it's all meat and rice with a little bit of sour cream
It
in there,
don't not hit. It don't not hit. I just would prefer the other things. Like, dude, if we were eating and like I was hungry and they're like, all it is burritos, I'd be like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm having a burrito. It's just like if I get to choose, it's usually going to be a, quesadilla or like an enchilada, something with more of a 2-to-1 ratio. That's just me.
well,
I think the rice.
The rice definitely fucking helps. God damn it, son. That's not really, but the rice hadn't been kind to me as of late because it feels like the last we do Hello Fresh over here in this household. They're not a sponsor, but we do it. And most of Amber's favorite meal, well, my number one favorite meal is the beef bulgogi, and it's the rice. And like last week, I feel like we got so much, it was so rice heavy, but I just couldn't quit. And that's another thing. Rice is the juice of foods. In terms,
I don't know about that.
in terms,
You sit there and drink juice all goddamn day and not even realize you're getting calories. But dog, rice, you saying you could do that with rice? Rice fills a man up.
yeah, but you have to stop before you know it did.
You get hungry an hour later.
That's true of everything for me.
Yeah, well, yeah, for the most part. But like if I eat a full sandwich and don't stop, like as I'm eating the full sandwich, I'm like, "Ooh, I'm getting full." But if I'm just eating a goddamn bowl of rice or like some sort of rice, but like like any type of bowl situation where it's like, here's what we're doing: it's meat and sauce and rice, motherfucker, son. I can just sit there and whop 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 forever. I have a chemical dependency on it. One thing I do not have a chemical dependency on, though, however, is nicotine. And that is because of Lucy. Lucy Nicotine is a company founded by Caltech scientists and former smokers looking for a better and cleaner nicotine alternative. Finally, tobacco alternatives that don't suck. It was researched and developed for 3 years to be made for people, not patients. Lucy has created a nicotine gum with 4 milligrams of nicotine, that sweet, sweet nicotine, that comes in 3 flavors: wintergreen, cinnamon, pomegranate. As I've stated on this podcast many a time, if you're a drunk like your boy, well, not anymore, but if you're drinking, go with the pomegranate in my opinion, because it actually kind of makes the drink hit harder. Lucy also has a lozenge with 4 milligrams of nicotine in cherry ice flavor. What is this, Powerade? Each and every flavor actually tastes great, and it's convenient and discreet. Products can be enjoyed anywhere, on flights, at work, on the go, or even in the gym. I myself am actually off of Lucy right now, but that's just because of.
That's also so.
Okay.
Let me talk about.
Go on with it.
Because yeah, I know, and they do want people to use Lucy to quit smoking, and that's like been mostly your experience. But I still chew the stuff. So let me talk here for just a
Go
second.
on.
I mentioned earlier, my gums don't hit, and they don't.
Your gums don't hit.
My gums don't hit, and I convinced myself that one of the reasons that my gums don't hit, and it's a myriad reasons that they don't hit, but one of them was that I was vaping all the time, and that's like a vasoconstrictor. It can screw your gums up. I found out, so I was like, well, I gotta get rid of this, but I'm addicted to nicotine. Obviously, that's why I vape all the time, because it does hit. So I put the vape down and picked the Lucy up. And I tell you, y'all know I've complained a lot over the years about how cinnamon don't hit for me. I even like their cinnamon flavor, but
Now, that's high praise here, folks.
it is. And my gums are better now. Turns out it wasn't because of none of that, but I didn't know. But anyway, I had to stop vaping. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but Lucy worked like a charm and did the trick just as well as you could ever hope for a trick to get done. So I'm definitely a devotee, and now I just do both.
I'm happy. I'm happy to hear that, Trae Lane. It's 2020. Get rid of your cigarettes, unplug your vape, throw out your dip, and get some Lucy nicotine gum or lozenges. This is the real deal. A subscription to Lucy comes directly to your door each month. It's so simple, and you don't have to leave your house because Lucy has delivery down. WellRED listeners, go to lucy.co. That's lucy.co. Not com, co, promo code RED to get 20% off all products, including gum or lozenges. That's lucy.co and use promo code RED at checkout. Also, I must give this disclaimer. Warning, this product contains that sweet, sweet nicotine derived from tobacco. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. But if you want it in gum form, go to lucy.co and be sure to use that promo code RED. Now back to the podcast.
Here we are. Joe, I had a theory I wanted to check. Well, not a theory.
That I'm the greatest pitch man of all time. It's not a theory, bro. It's just real.
This isn't a theory. I'm curious about something. When's the last time you still catching ones? When's the last time you caught one?
Just a minute ago, if you watch this podcast on YouTube, which I don't know if our listeners are familiar, you can do that. We put each episode up video form since Zoom started on YouTube, and you can you'll randomly see me just kind of, but I don't, but not near as much because it was.
That's what I was curious about. I was wondering if, because you've gotten your life together outside of
the
kitchen.
Yeah.
But other than that, you've gotten your life together, and I wondered if it was having an effect on how
it
many
is.
ones you catch. For anybody listening, I know we talked about before, Corey catches one, and that's just when he has a miniature seizure, kind of strokes out a little bit.
Yeah.
And they vary in the degree of cartoonishness that they have. I've seen him basically throw himself out of an elevator or into oncoming traffic before. But oftentimes it's just a little like
twitch,
whatever. But so you think it has had an effect?
I know for a fact that it has. I think that was like, it was like my anxiety and my fatigue like meeting each other, and I was like catching myself awake, like literally catching one. So no, like I'll still from time to time have them. Like I think I've got like a mild tick, like on God, like I mean I have something's going on, but no, I like so many things have been different. I remember I have a calendar on my phone, and I remember to put stuff in the calendar, but also for the most part, I just be remembering stuff now, like to do. Like I'll just know.
You mean from like a long time ago, or?
Oh, that's been actually a negative consequence of this, because you forget how much alcohol and drug consumption is used primarily to mask your demons. Yeah. And then when you stop doing it, they're like, all right, well, it's time for us to show up and party. And that's actually like when you first start cleaning yourself up and you're like, dude, I'm not doing this every day. I'm not, going to get, and when I do, I'm not going to get blackout and drink till like 3 or 4 in the morning. Like I'm not doing that. That's like it, like from the, not even just the chemical part, but just the, like literally the day, like I'll just remember something. And my go-to is like, go grab vodka, drown the bad shit, like get that out of here. But yeah, no, I'm remembering like if you tell me, hey, next Tuesday we're going to do a thing, obviously I'm going to put it in my calendar like I do everything, but like I'll wake up Tuesday and have remembered that you told me that. It's the craziest goddamn thing in the world.
Yeah, no, that is wild coming from you. I know, because I know that's very much been a thing.
Oh, yeah, because I was just always drunk. So like, it's not that I mean, yeah, I would technically forget, but like it depends on if you tell drunk Corey something, why would you expect sober Corey to remember it? Doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Yeah, Trey, it was your fault.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I got to use my damn calendar now anyway.
Well, I still do. Like, I never wouldn't.
Even a factor in it for me because I'm the exact opposite. I mean, I don't worry about this. I feel like it just happens as you get older. But I'm the exact opposite. For a long, long time, I had like my memory was insane, and I never needed to write like anything down and commitments or whatever. I always just had it up here, no problem. People's names, and that. I'm losing some of that. It's like I said, I mean, I think it's just like getting older, but also there's so much more there's no routine to our schedules. You know?
Yeah, it's hard.
Random times on random days and they come up out of nowhere. And I think that's part of it too, but I can't.
I mean, we especially with us being down here and you being there, like the times always fuck me up.
I can't do that shit anymore. So I have to I have to put it in. If something comes up, I put it in my calendar.
Me too.
Immediately.
Oh, me too.
Because I'll forget.
Again, like dude, if I've got something to do at 9:00 p.m. and I'm laying down for a nap at 1 p.m., I'm still setting my alarm because I don't trust that I won't sleep for 8 hours. I don't trust anything. So I'm going to write it down. I'm just saying like this. And it's funny, like when you sober up, you start thinking that things are superpowers that are actually just how everybody else has been. Yeah, it's just how everybody else has been forever. Is that Andy?
No, that is my niece.
Okay, I just seen brown hair. I can't
dress like Andy.
Yeah, I mean, I just seen brown hair, doing something in the background while you were trying to work. It seemed like Andy.
That did look like Andy back there.
But yeah, like it's crazy. Like I wake up some days thinking like that I've tapped into like some Spider-Man shit, and then it's just like, no, son, this is just how like a lot of your friends have felt forever.
Well, let's do another update. Did you drink for football this weekend? Or?
No, man. I was like, no, and again, it's really weird. It wasn't like I had to be like, okay, I'm not drinking it. Didn't want to, had no desire whatsoever.
I drank during the Tennessee.
Now, let me, before you go on, after the literal first play of the game, bout did.
Yeah. I drank during the Tennessee-Georgia game, and when the game was over, I stopped, which is odd considering how it went for a Tennessee fan. You'd think I would have just dove further into the bottle, but I didn't. And out here, that's like 4 p.m. That's not late.
Right.
So I drank only while I was sitting there watching the game. I didn't get hammered or nothing. I was just drinking while watching the game. I stopped at 4 p.m. I stayed up until midnight. Was stone cold sober by the time I went to sleep. And I swear to God, I still felt like shit yesterday. The type of like shit you feel when you drank the night before. And I spent most of the day yesterday upset at my own body and everything for how shitty I felt.
Yeah.
In my head, I was like, I went about drinking yesterday just about as responsibly as I feel like it's possible to do. And I still don't fucking feel good today. And I didn't drink anything yesterday, and today I feel a million times better.
Does that make you think like, God damn? I mean, because to me, this is how Cho's brains work. When that happens, when like I have like, let's say I go out to like a social thing, and I'm only going. I had 6 drinks instead of my normal 18, and staying up till 3 o'clock in the morning. I have 6 drinks instead of doing that. But then I wake up the next day feeling as if I'd have done the other thing because we're so old. Yeah. That makes me just go, it's the old, if you're gonna be a monkey, be a gorilla. So like when I get drunk, I get drunk.
Now I totally see where you're coming from on that, but I did still feel like shit yesterday, but it's not an equivalent level of shittiness for me,
right.
For the record. Like, if I really tie one on and go to bed drunk and wake up, like, I will feel like shit for 3 days.
Yeah, it's at least 2 for me, for sure.
Right. Well, the other one, I'm going to feel a
day.
little worse the next day, but it's nowhere near the same thing in terms of severity, so it still isn't – it don't take me to that place.
Yeah.
What about you, Drew? You be drunk?
He be drunk.
He be drunk.
Oh, I drank Friday. I had 4 Guinness, the tall boys, when I did mine and DJ's show, Eat Fruit Friday, and felt terrible Friday night. Like an hour later, I felt terrible.
I felt bad Saturday night too, but that didn't surprise me because I was like, well, it's like I got hungover without going to sleep.
Right, yeah.
Right. That's
see,
what I was hoping for too. And then
Yeah, that don't hit.
next day, similar, man. I felt terrible the next day, which was Saturday, and I didn't feel great Sunday. Sunday, I didn't feel like sick or whatever, but I just felt like down
Lethargic.
in a way
Yeah.
that was like yeah, like I didn't want to. And I thought I had COVID, and Andy was like, "No, you just can't drink anymore."
Well, dude, it's funny that you say that because it is like every single time I've been hungover during this shit, no matter what, I'm like, I got it. I got Rona. Like, I fucking got, like,
Yeah.
my immune system was down. I went somewhere last night and licked something I shouldn't have licked. Like, I don't know what I fucking did. But,
Well,
yeah.
that's the other thing. If you were drinking, you're like, I don't even know what I did, so I probably did get it.
For sure. But, like, my thing, too, is, like, it's genuinely not even not so much of just, like, the pure hangover. Lethargy? Is it lethargy or lethargy?
Lethargy.
Who knows?
Lethargy, but you get lethargic.
Right. It's not even just the lethargy or whatever. Like my anxiety, which usually feeds into my depression, is just so much more at bay and better now. Like that's really my big hang up. It's not like
That's mine.
so like on Saturday, it's when I'm sitting there and I know it's the game and there's of course there's dude, it's college football. I made a dip. You know, I got the crock pot going.
I've been making and eating the fuck out of dips.
Dip hits.
I've been.
I want a good dip,
buddy. I've been
Easy.
flying. I've broke Velveeta back out.
Oh yeah.
My long lost love. I hadn't seen Velveeta in a while.
I was just saying, you can't break Velveeta.
Velveeta still got it, baby.
Oh yeah, son, never left. But my thing is like that goes so hand in hand with, and I wanted a beer, like I don't want to be drunk. It's just like, yeah, you crack a beer, it's the game on. But like my brain wasn't going like, oh, but you'll feel like shit tomorrow. It really wasn't. Like, I can handle a hangover. It was like, dude, Monday you'll be depressed. You'll still be depressed. Like your anxiety is gonna go crazy, and you got shit. You got, and I don't know, man. Like I didn't know how much. I genuinely didn't know how much alcohol had to do with my anxiety and depression. This is so stupid in hindsight. It's absolutely insane to think about. But in my mind, it was like, I'm depressed and anxious. I better tie one on that. Cause while you're drunk, you're good, you know, you're good to go. And I just thought, so like during my hangovers in the next couple of days, I was like, yeah, when I'm not drunk, I'm just real anxious, but it's the complete opposite. Like that was why. So it's just so hard for me to put and it's a bummer. Like I wish that, because I know I've always been the type of person who can just get drunk and then not drink for several days. But it's just I don't know. That life is too short to have 2 days where I'm like, my career's over. I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
No, man.
And what am I do? Take pills? I mean, pills do hit.
I said I felt like shit yesterday, and I did, but part of it also was like I had like two minor things I had to do that were work related yesterday, and I mean like minor. One of them was sending the audio files for the SKUs or whatever.
That is difficult.
And the other one was like responding to an email or something.
Yeah.
I didn't get those done until like 8 p.m. last night because I just couldn't stomach the thought of doing
getting up.
Yeah, getting up and doing anything. I
Yeah.
was just laying there feeling like a worthless piece of shit. I was like, I can't do it. I'll never do anything again. I can't. But then my other part of my brain would tell myself like, you just feel like this because you're a little hungover and you drunk yesterday, and by tomorrow you're not drinking it all today. By tomorrow you'll be right back in the saddle and you'll be fine.
Which is accurate.
And then that's what happened. But like you said, it's just not. It like ain't worth it.
It's not worth it. And
No,
I've gotten
I had
better.
an
Go ahead.
audition. I was gonna say you made me think of this. I had an audition, and it's a storytelling thing, and I ran the story on the Zoom show Friday to practice, and was like, okay, I know what I need to work on, blah blah blah, and then I couldn't do it till late yesterday, and then I recorded it this morning. It's due today, and I recorded it this morning, and I got it out no problem, but like, I couldn't do it this weekend. Like I tried.
Yeah.
I went and like set the camera up and did it. I had no energy. Like I was missing all my transitions. It sucked.
Yeah, it's weird how that works because like almost everything I do, not almost, but a good deal of the things I do that I put off, like once you sit down and do them, you're like, that literally took 3 minutes and was the easiest thing in the world. Why didn't you? But it's like, that's how depression works. It don't fucking matter, son.
I love the podcast is like a snapshot of our lives at this hour on Monday, which is when we usually record. Like a person could randomly discover us later, listen to this episode, enjoy it and be like, all right, let me listen to another one. Fast forward 3 months from now, And buddy, we got ripped.
yeah.
We could be
Oh, yeah.
hammered on the episode, especially if we get back
Oh, yeah.
on the road.
Oh,
I just
buddy.
think that's so funny. Everything we're saying is pointing to stop
Absolutely.
forever.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, but I'm not. No.
No, me neither.
Me neither. No,
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 you're
that don't hit. Because
if we go back to touring, I mean,
I'm going back
Yes,
to drunk,
I
son.
can't wait.
Let me tell you. But I told you the other day, and I meant this, man. When I called it when I said I got drunk during the Georgia Auburn game. I told y'all before, it wasn't like it snuck up on me. I've been sober for 5 weeks, and I was like, I'm getting drunk during this game. And the reason is, and I'll repeat it again for anybody that didn't hear it, it's because once you've been sober about 5 weeks, it stops. Like every day isn't a surprise anymore. You level out, and you need to get drunk and reset. And so, Auburn, Georgia plays Alabama this coming weekend. Who knows? I mean, that'll be 3 weeks sober. I might get drunk. You know why? Because nothing feels better than getting sober. Being sober don't hit. Getting sober super hits.
Man, I'm at like an actual
Therapist, listen to
Psychologist.
this.
rock bottom, life has ended alcoholic who now is a counselor or whatever, listening to us talk about any of this, but especially you've been like, no, the hitting this part is falling off the wagon, then getting back up. When you climb back on it, that's the only part that hits.
It is.
Keeping it together don't hit.
Dude, listen to me. When's the last
90 days wouldn't be special if it weren't for rain, man.
When's the last time you got on a wagon and it wasn't to go do something that hit? You know what I'm saying? Like, getting on a wagon's awesome.
It also is funny. We're talking about how if we drank within the past 48 hours, we can't find it within ourselves to answer an email. And I know Thompson's listening right there. It's like, try being a drunk and having to go to a roofing job. Stupid pussies.
Oh, look, Corey's wearing his yellow shirt again. Good for you, queer.
I think that being active makes it easier to be a drunk. I do think that. Not that
It does.
Makes,
He sweats
not
it
that
out.
Makes that your life easier.
We're the ones that have it hard, really. Thompson.
That's not what I meant
No,
or
but
said.
I know what you mean. If you actually get
It
up
does.
and yourself through it and you sweat a little bit or whatever, it does make you feel a little bit better.
Which means we could just get up and work out, but well, you do that.
I do. That.
While you're hungover?
Yeah, and it helps, but I still don't help.
That ain't it.
No.
I tweeted today that I can't wait. I just want to be in a city where I don't know where I'm at, telling a new joke, and then go to a diner and eat a breakfast burrito and get drunk.
I know,
Today.
man. It's gonna hit. I was thinking about it last night. I was watching One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and it was a scene where Jack Nicholson is freaking the fuck out because it's the World Series, and he wants to watch the series, and like he's trying to convince Nurse Ratched to let him watch it, and she's being a total bitch, and
So
not.
Classic her.
And like he was sitting there freaking out just because he wanted to watch one ball game, and then like they're about to break out. He's orchestrating this entire breakout just so they can go to a bar and watch one baseball game. Yeah. And there'd be part of me at one point that'd be like, it ain't worth getting caught breaking out just to go to a bar and watch one ball game. That whole thing sounded so appealing to me. Like just being at a bar with no one I know, having one cold beer, watching a sport that I don't, watching highlight, any sport, I don't give a shit. Men competing, me at a bar, someone I don't know, cold beer. It sounds so fucking good. By the way, I don't know when the last time y'all saw that movie was, but holds the fuck smooth.
Did you say
up.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Yeah, it's on
Yeah.
that.
And her name is Nurse Ratched on there?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I didn't realize
The show's a
that
prequel.
American-
The show's a prequel.
I think that's probably why the movie is on Netflix.
It is.
Netflix made a prequel show about Nurse Ratchet's sorry existence.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I knew that, but I thought that show was somehow related to American Horror Story.
No, it's just Sarah Paulson's in it.
Isn't it a
Okay.
Ryan Murphy joint or something? I think it has creators in it.
But like
Okay.
the storyline's not connected at all.
No.
It has nothing to do.
Well, you know how in American Horror Story they're all dead.
No.
Well, no.
Well, a
I
lot
do
of them
now.
are. A lot of them are
Every
ghosts.
season of American Horror Story is a different story, but with the same actors and the same writers. And I've watched like 2 of the
Right.
8 seasons of it or whatever.
Do they hit?
No.
I thought nurse.
It's just not my.
They don't hit. They're
I'm not
like
super
they're
into
like.
horror and shit like that, but Katie is.
Well, even if you are, dude, it's
But they're
what's
hugely
the
popular.
soap opera?
People fucking love that show.
It's a soap opera horror story. That's all it is.
It ain't for me.
Amber, do you like American Horror Story? Yeah, Amber likes it. Don't hit.
Andy likes it.
All our wives like it. Yeah, check.
Check your booty.
Yeah, Ryan
All
Murphy.
right.
That's what I thought. Ratchet is a Ryan Murphy joint, and he's the guy behind American Horror
And
Story.
Hollywood.
But yeah, in Hollywood and Nip Tuck and Glee, he is a billionaire, probably.
Yo, yeah, dude, yeah.
Dude, he's one of those empire holders.
Yeah.
In Hollywood, like he's got his own. Him and
Shonda Rhimes, yeah, and Tyler Perry.
Chuck Lorre, Tyler Perry. Yeah, they have fucking.
That's a wild thing to be.
Hell yeah, it would hit.
It would hit. Oh, dude, listen.
Never
As much. No, of course not. But as much shit as like everyone talks, like how insane. It's like, okay, well, all they do is put out. Go, all right, go be Chuck and go do that. You know, I don't know what to tell you, but like, yeah, that would hit. But I ain't. But I did watch One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and like, I'm not even saying like, you know, considering when it came out and considering that, I mean, that movie straight up could have frame for frame, line for line, been shot yesterday, and I would still think it was one of the greatest movies of all time. It's so fucking good.
Yeah, Christopher Lloyd hits.
Unreal, dude. And I hadn't seen it since I was like a very, very long time ago. I done plumb forgot goddamn Danny DeVito's ass was in it.
DeVito, yeah.
She got it too.
It's wild to see him in there as that, like, because that's like the youngest I've ever seen Danny DeVito was Taxi, and he still looked old.
Right.
You know, it's wild. He a wild looking motherfucker.
He's a wild thing to be. I love Danny DeVito. He's fucking awesome. But yeah, he's one of those people. Every now and then, there's certain people, and I'll try to think of other good examples, but Danny DeVito is absolutely one of them. Who, like, every now and then, I'll just think, like, God, what a wild thing he is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what,
yes.
Like, he is, because he's like an icon. Everybody knows Danny DeVito. He's a huge star.
He's a staple.
He's massively successful and everything. And, like,
I think he's a Staples.
What a wild.
And also, here's how good he is. I can't remember the last time that he just played the short guy on something. Right. Like, it's never been that. Like, he is short, obviously, but, like, it's never a defining characteristic of him.
Twins, but that was different.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
We're coming up on an hour, but I'm glad you reminded me of something that I forgot to put in my notes that I wanted to ask y'all about. And it's comedy related, but also a hugely famous person. You're talking about Taxi and Danny DeVito, and it made me think about that. I wanted to ask y'all about this. Where do y'all stand on Andy Kaufman?
I stand on Andy Kaufman. I can't probably if somebody came up to me and just started talking, if I was talking to somebody and they said that Andy Kaufman was their favorite comedian, I know that I'd hate him. You know? I'd be like, shut the fuck up. No, he's not, you idiot. Name his best joke, you fucking ball washing piece of shit. But I have a lot of respect. But like, I kind of feel like the way I feel about Andy is like, you know, when we found out
about Lenny Bruce,
huh?
I know that
they did a different thing. I definitely respect. I definitely probably respect Lenny. Like, Andy Kaufman towed the line between like being a genius at what it is that I do, but also, do you respect what I do, or are you just trying to fuck around? And like, I feel like a dude like that always, like, no matter what, there's always an excuse for, like, if Andy Kaufman did something that was shitty, it was just, you don't understand his brilliance. You know, no, he was going for something else here. And at a certain point with dudes like that, I'm like, all right, so infallible, because they hover above this. But at the same time, he's a huge wrestling fan. All the stories I've heard, like Jerry Lawler and all these dudes tell about him, like, he was one of the sweetest dudes that really, like, he loved it being a work, and he just loved the fantastical soap opera of not only wrestling but comedy. So, I mean, I think the guy did have a streak of brilliance, but I think that some people have possibly Bill Hicksed him, as it were, over the years. Yeah, that's my thoughts.
I thought you were going to go with
all right, but hold on.
Okay.
Bill Burr just was on SNL, and he is taking over the Twitter discourse for a day. People are, oh, he's misogynist. Other people, oh, he's brilliant, this and that. And
you can be both, by the way.
Sure. And some of my some people I saw talking about, and they made this point, and it's completely true. One of the problems with a guy like Bill Burr is not Bill Burr, but everybody who wants to be like him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Corey, you kept saying the phrase "a guy like that," a guy like that. There's been so many. Andy Kaufman was a weird thing. And that being said, I can think off the top of my head 3 people who tried something similar who were terrible. And they have fans. Right. I don't mean terrible like nobody liked them. I mean, it wasn't for me. I think Andy Kaufman is hands down a genius. I think that
I agree.
If you look at his whole body of work, the stuff he did with wrestling and then going on late night TV shows and doing that, where you don't even know if the host was in on what he was doing. The host, a time or two, it seemed like they didn't know.
Yeah, for sure.
He was actually friends with Jerry Lawler. That absolutely belies a lack of respect for late night comedians who host a TV show. But you can look at it that way, or you can look at it as, I'm a comedian. My job is to take the piss out of stuff.
Yeah.
And this is a very powerful institution, the Late Show or whatever it was at the time, whatever it was called. And I'm with that. Did he do it to people who maybe didn't deserve it? Probably. But he was great at it. I think Borat is an amazing film. It's one of the funniest movies of all time, and it doesn't exist without Andy Kaufman, in my opinion.
For sure.
And so he did get Bill Hicks, but do I blame Bill Hicks or do I blame all these people who think Bill the greatest thing ever?
I agree with you. Yeah, and I hope I didn't come off. Yeah, you know what? I guess it was just, it's so inside with us that I know that you know that I meant that. Like when I say that, I mean, it's like the classic Tim Wilson, I love Johnny Cash, hate Johnny Cash fans. Same thing. I didn't mean to come off like that because, hell, I've outlined a podcast that culminates with the last episode being about Andy Kaufman and wrestling. I definitely have a deep admiration and respect for him. At a certain point, you just don't know. It's like, well, do you sometimes you lionize somebody because they die early. That just happens. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not talking shit any other way.
That's what I like. When I brought up Lenny Bruce, I thought it was going a direction of like we talked about before. Prefaces by saying I have an insane amount of respect for Lenny Bruce. That's the whole point of what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
Because as a student of comedy and a comedy nerd and a comedian myself, I fully appreciate what Lenny Bruce meant to comedy. You're talking about there wouldn't be a Borat without Andy Kaufman, there wouldn't be a Bill Burr without Lenny Bruce, or
anybody.
Richard Pryor, Chris Rocker, anybody, us, you name it. Without
the art form may not have taken off.
Right, and I understand and respect that. Having said that, I've went back and listened to Lenny Bruce stuff or whatever, and Lenny Bruce has pretty much never once made me laugh.
No, comedy ages like bread, especially that type.
Yeah, so I don't find Lenny Bruce funny, but I acknowledge the role he played and the importance of it. And I thought you were going in a similar direction as to that with Andy Kaufman, where it's like most of the stuff Andy Kaufman didn't really hit for me.
But if you'd have been there,
but I can appreciate fully the importance of Andy Kaufman and how
that's where I'm at.
Groundbreaking and influential he was and how much he meant and all this stuff. And I listen to a lot of industry podcasts. I was listening to one with this guy who's like an old TV producer, been around for years. And according to him, and it may be a lionized thing where it's become like the stuff of legend, but according to him, the people on Taxi, I'm not saying everybody on Taxi, but at least some of the suits and producers involved with Taxi and getting it made, according to this guy, did not know at first that Andy Kaufman wasn't this dude from small island in the Caspian Sea.
Latvia. Caspian.
And there are no islands in the Caspian Sea.
Yeah.
By the way. But
that's the rib.
They asked him, where are you from? Just small island in the Caspian Sea, whatever. They thought that he really was that, according to this.
I love that.
No, me too. That's awesome.
I do too. I love that too. And there's another part that this guy said. He also, when he got to roll in Taxi, they had to negotiate his contract. They negotiated his contract with his lawyer, who was Bob
Zamuda.
Yes.
Tony Clifton.
No, it was Bob Zamuda, but it wasn't. It was Andy Kaufman as Bob Zamuda, and they didn't know that.
That's great.
Bob Zamuda's a real guy.
Yeah.
He worked with Andy Kaufman, was like his coach, whatever.
Still does Tony Clifton stuff.
Yeah, and they both played Tony Clifton, but according to this dude, Andy negotiated his own contract with the network as Bob Zamuda. Part of it was Bob Zamuda had to have his own parking spot in addition to Andy Kaufman. So Andy had both parking spots or whatever. And part of it was that Tony Clifton had to have a role in Taxi for one episode, and Andy showed up that day as Tony Clifton with actual whores. It's like, I mean, dude.
How could you not love that?
I'm not saying I don't. I never once said I didn't.
But how could anybody?
That dude, like he was.
Oh, I mean, I could see how people that worked on the show didn't like it. Like I could see.
But they were none the wiser.
No. I'm saying when Tony Clifton showed up with whores, like they became wise then that some bullshit was going on. That's great.
That was the most exciting thing that happened to them that year.
I hear you, but they still had to go to work, buddy. Again, you're not having to convince me. That hits so hard. I'm just saying I could see why someone wouldn't like it.
Okay, but we've actually had this part of this conversation before on
about Jim Carrey.
People don't remember, right? So by the same token, Jim Carrey, who I idolize, I fucking adore Jim Carrey, but obviously that documentary came out, Jim and Andy, and it's all about Jim Carrey playing Andy Kaufman, except according to Jim Carrey, he didn't play Andy Kaufman. Andy Kaufman played himself because he took Jim Carrey's corporeal form over as a spirit from heaven or whatever the fuck. But anyway, according to him, when Jim Carrey was on the set of Man on the Moon, he did a lot of those Andy Kaufman type things. And it very much
that was
very much did not hit for a whole lot of people involved. And I sided with them.
Me too.
No,
Me too.
What's the difference?
Well, one day, number one. Number two, and then maybe I'm wrong, showing up with hookers is not the same as being an a-hole. I mean, that's my niece is right here, so myself. I mean, Tony Clifton may be an a-hole character. I've seen him be a little obnoxious, so maybe he made their lives miserable. But my guess is they thought a weirdo was there and that it was funny.
Right. Yeah, that's probably true. And
now, if I'm wrong about that, if he was being a dick, yeah, man, you can't.
But you know, I've heard Jerry Lawler talk about that too, about his experience working with Jim Carrey as Andy Kaufman, and his whole thing was he was like, it was just bizarre, and I couldn't get it over to Jim Carrey that he's like, Jim Carrey was being a dick to me on the set because he was still in character. He's like, but I was like, but me and Andy were friends. You should be a dick to me when we're in front of Letterman, but if me and you were just getting coffee, then Andy would be nice to me.
Right.
Because we were buddies.
Right. And Jim Carrey's whole argument of like, it wasn't me, it was Andy and my body. And it's like, but then people who actually knew Andy Kaufman, like Jerry Lawler, when they say like, no, I knew him. I was close friends with him in real life, and he didn't act anything like that.
Right.
And it's like, dude, what are you doing?
It's a bit much.
It's way too much.
It's way too much. Like there was a part of me that was like when I first found out about method acting, like, you know, Daniel Day-Lewis very popularized the style. And shit, I used to hear, when I would hear stories like that, like even about Jim Carrey, I would be totally enamored. And I'd be like, hey, man, who gives a shit? Whatever you got to do to get there. This is young me, though. This is a young fucking idiot, 17, you know. And then I grew up to be an adult, and I can't remember who it was that was, somebody was talking about. They're like, yeah, or you could just act.
Laurence Olivier talking.
Yeah. Laurence Olivier.
Because that's where I always fell on the scale of it, too. Yeah, it's a famous story. Laurence Olivier saying to Dustin Hoffman, who was like, they're making that movie that William Goldman wrote that I can't remember right now, but Dustin Hoffman was all method about it. And
he stayed up for 3 days to appear more crazy.
Exactly. And Olivier said to him, he's like, my dear boy, have you tried acting? And that's pretty much how. Yeah, and like how I always looked at now. I don't know shit now, and I didn't know shit then. But from the very beginning, I always in my head was like, "You're playing pretend, right? So like, just pretend. Like, why do you need to do that?" Now, there've been some geniuses who do it that way. So who am I to fault them?
If Hoffman does it that way, but doesn't doesn't belittle a makeup artist, and that's where I stand on it. If somebody who hears this is like, yeah, Clifton was like grab assing all the makeup girls and was calling, then I'd be like, well, then that's shitty.
Yeah, it's the same as anything. Like your rights end where someone else begins. Like, fucking oh my God. Doc Holliday, fucking Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer stayed up 3 days for that one scene, when he'd supposedly been up for 3 days playing poker. As long as like he just did that, went and did the scene, got drunk, and then went back to bed and didn't hurt nobody else. Fuck yeah. If you can play that better, actually like that, go ahead. But yeah, when it starts affecting the livelihood of other people and their day at work, then yeah, act, motherfucker. Like, quit doing that. That's ridiculous. Like Daniel Day-Lewis making motherfuckers push him around in a wheelchair. Get the fuck out of here. Like, you can do it at the house, but not here. Quit being an idiot. We probably had this exact conversation before.
Yeah, but that's all right.
Well, I got a thing at 4:30 anyway.
Yeah. We say bye on here, but then very, very briefly talk about another thing when you stop recording.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love y'all for listening. We'll see y'all next time.
Ski.
They're the liberal rednecks. They like cornbread and butt sex. They care way too much, but don't give a fuck. They're the liberal rednecks that makes some people upset, but they got 3 big old dicks that you can suck.